Today I'm rating Mariah's album, The Emancipation of Mimi. Hey kids, Treacle here. Welcome back to my channel. So I am going to go through the album, The Emancipation of Mimi today. This week and next week on my channel is dedicated to this era. I decided 1 week was not enough. We need 2 weeks because there's so many incredible live performances from this era that I wanted to watch again and share with you and see which are your favorites, rediscover some of my favorites. There were so many, so I'm going to watch some of my favorites and watch some that I haven't seen in quite some time. So there's already some videos out on my channel. There's more coming next week, and we're about to hit December, and as soon as we do, you know I'm moving into Christmas content, so there's a lot coming up. Make sure you are subscribed. But today I'm adding to my album rating series. I've been going through the albums in order. I have saved Merry Christmas album. I'm going to do that in December. But we have arrived at one of my favorite albums of Mariah's, the monster smash, The Emancipation of Mimi. As we all know, after Mariah's rough spot in 2001 with Glitter, she came back very quickly with 2002's Charm Bracelet. That was December 2002. And that was, it was a good album. We discussed that in the last video of my album rating series. I'll link to that in the description. But it was kind of like a lukewarm reception for the album. And I feel like Mariah went away and put her little thinking cap on, and she took her time with the next album. And we didn't get The Emancipation of Mimi until 2005. So there was a drought in the Lamely, and we were all thirsty for more music. And then Mariah came back with It's Like That, launching the Emancipation album. Of course, we got We Belong Together from this album, #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 for 14 weeks. Shake It Off was blocked from going to #1 by We Belong Together. It was at #2. This album was huge. This was Mariah back at the Grammys performing, picking up a few awards. Grammys/Scammys, or in the news again right now. It's just such a huge moment in Mariah's career, and it was 15 years ago. This year we're celebrating MC30, so Mariah's been in the game for 30 years, and this is like the midway point. So another reason why I wanted to spend a bit more time. So yeah, 2 weeks of Emancipation here on my channel. So I'm going to go through the album with my album rating scores, as I always do. The first category is songs, and this is a score out of 10. How much do I enjoy the songs on the album? Now, what happens is I go through the album, not song by song, and I end up forgetting to give certain songs that I like a spotlight or a shout out, and then you guys always pull me up on that in the comments. So I'm actually going to go through really quickly through the track listing for this album. So It's Like That, a slightly different launch single approach for Mariah, a great party starter. It didn't smack me across the face, but I very quickly came to love it, and I still love it 15 years later. We Belong Together, absolutely love it. One of the biggest hits of Mariah's career. I've got so many great memories wrapped up with that song. I love it. Shake It Off, I love. Fun, and Mariah has fun performing it. Mine Again, a big belter. You know I love a big ballad, a big belt, so I was very happy with Mine Again. The vocals on that are crazy. Say Something. At the time, I remember divided some fans. I liked it, I didn't love it, but actually I think it's aged quite well. I still really enjoy it, and I think that was down to be the lead single at one point, but for Mariah it was a little bit out of her comfort zone, not quite sure. I like it. I don't feel like Mariah loves Say Something, but I like it. Stay the Night, I love that from day one, and I always have and I always will. Get Your Number, fun as a single later on from the album's release. I like it, I don't love it. Nothing wrong with it, it's still a very good song. One and Only, I love. Circles, I love. I probably prefer that to Mine Again. It's probably my favorite ballad on the album, possibly. Your Girl, it's good. I don't love it. I know Mariah really does. It's cute and everything. It's just, this is such a strong album. It's just not my favorite song. I Wish You Knew, I love it. To the Floor is not one of my favorites. Joyride, I really love. Fly Like a Bird, oh my god, that is like a highlight of her discography. So good. In the UK, we got Sprung as a bonus track. Like it, don't love it, but still really good. And then when we had the Ultra Platinum, the re-release, we got Don't Forget About Us, kind of like a part 2 to We Belong Together. I do like it. Making It Last All Night, What It Do, I really, really love that. That's really cool and funky. So Lonely, I really like it. And the We Belong Together remix, how can you not? There's barely any songs that I haven't got loads and loads of time for. So for songs on this album, it's really, really good. I'm going to give it 8 out of 10 because it really, really is up there. I'm thinking back. I've got my notes here, actually. I think Butterfly was a 10. Butterfly was 10 out of 10 for songs. I just think because they're not as personal on Emancipation of Mimi, it's more like a party record, and that's what she was saying at the time. So I love the songs. I feel like there's just not as many that are closely tied to her telling her own like personal story. Especially from reading the memoir, we know more about the stories behind the songs on Butterfly. So just how much the songs hit, and they do hit hard. Yeah, I'm giving the songs on Emancipation 8 out of 10. The next category is lyrics. Giving the lyrics on the album a score out of 10. I am a little bit torn with this one because, as I said, it's more of like a party record and there's not lots of really personal moments, but the songs are really, really well written, and a lot of that is to do with the lyrics. And this is where we get to see kind of like the ushering in of a new style of song from Mariah. Now a lot of her songs are really they're very quick, they're very fast, they're very wordy. It's very challenging to get everything out. The breathing and the enunciation, she's packing a lot in, and they've got some really like fast rhythms to them. If you think of the remix to We Belong Together, that's what I'm talking about. So it's like a different style, and she's getting clever and smart with her lyrics. I love what she's doing in Shake It Off, and it kind of then, you know, harks for what's to come with Touch My Body and things. So although they're not personal, they're very, very clever, and the construction of the songs, and a big part of the reason I like a lot of them does come down to lyrics. So 8 out of 10 for Emancipation lyrics. Next up is vocals. What score would you give out of 10 for the vocal performance Mariah gives on the Emancipation of Mimi? This really did hit hard. This came after Charm Bracelet, the Whisper album, and not everyone was happy with what she served on Charm Bracelet. There is really good variety, but there is a lot of soft, breathy tones and maybe not as much variety. I'll say, in my personal opinion, I like to have a little bit more variation, and we really, really get that on Emancipation. We have got a full range. I love different textures we're getting in We Belong Together and Shake It Off, and then we get flat out, I am here to sing, I am here to belt with Stay the Night, Mine Again. What she does on Fly Like a Bird and Circles is beautiful. I'm giving the vocals on Emancipation a big fat 9 out of 10. I'm not really sure what it's going to take to get a 10 on vocals, but this is really close. This is really damn close. Yeah, 9 out of 10. I love the variety, and we get some just really, really strong vocals. Next up is Unity or Cohesion. How well does the album flow from start to finish? How well does it work as a single body of work? And this is one that I said to myself, am I considering the original release from It's Like That through to Fly Like a Bird, or am I considering the Ultra Platinum edition because we get the extra songs? And ultimately, I need to consider the Ultra Platinum edition, because when I'm thinking about all of the songs, all of the vocals, all of the lyrics, my scores are based on the full collection of songs. But then I kind of go back and forth, because when I listen to this album, I tend to put it on shuffle. I'm happy to hear the songs in any order at all. But having said that, to do this video, I have listened to the album in order, top to bottom, a couple of times, regular and Ultra Platinum. I like to do my homework. And I think it does really, really work. I'm really, with this album, there isn't anything that I would really change with the track listing. There's nothing that I always skip. There's nothing that I wish was in a different place. I just feel that having the Ultra Platinum edition with some really strong additional songs, they get locked on at the end, and then it feels a bit muddlesome in a way. Like, I love how the regular edition ended with Fly Like a Bird, but then with the Ultra Platinum edition, then there's like an encore, and those songs just kind of changed the vibe. I don't know if I'd put those extra songs in a different place. I don't know. 8.5 for Unity. The album does flow. I'm grateful we got the Ultra Platinum edition. It just changes the vibe and the flow of the album, having those songs at the end. 8.5. And the final category is longevity. What kind of lasting impact has this had on Mariah's career? And how often do I find myself reaching for these songs, reaching for the album? This album is in a very strong position because it's always part of my rotation, whether it's certain songs on certain playlists or whether it's an album that I'm like, yeah, let's just go and put that on shuffle, let's play it. And this is an album that I do. Daydream, Butterfly, and Emancipation, they tend to be the albums where I'm like, yeah, let's just ask Siri to shuffle that, and I'm happy to have the songs in any which way they come. They get a lot of heavy rotation. So that's my personal enjoyment of the album, and I do find myself reaching for it a lot, but also the lasting impact, the legacy that this had on Mariah's career. We're still talking about this album 15 years later. I'm giving longevity a 10 out of 10 for Emancipation. I go back to this album all the time. It's had a huge lasting impact on Mariah's career. I have to give it a 10. So adding everything up, the Emancipation of Mimi gets a total score of 43.5, which puts it in second place on my leaderboard. And I think that feels about right. I knew it was going to be up really, really high. It is below Butterfly. Butterfly is just such a personal, introspective album, and I think that's the edge it has over Emancipation. But Emancipation is just such a good party album, and the vocals and the songs and everything we've said, so I'm very happy that it currently sits at number 2. And as always, I am challenging myself and invite you to choose one song to repeat and one song to skip. So first up, the repeat. If you have to pick one song to listen to again, what is it going to be? For me, it has to be We Belong Together. I love everything about this song. I love the production. I love the vocals, that monster finish he gives the song, the backing vocals. I love it so, so much. And I get to share the love of this song, the album as a whole, but particularly this song with a good number of friends of mine because it was so wide-reaching. Everyone can get involved with the song. Like, everyone can get involved with All I Want for Christmas Is You. So I just love playing it so much. It still gets constant rotation in my everyday playlist. So my repeat would be We Belong Together. And next up, the skip. If you had to, if I forced you to skip one song from the album, what would it be? This is sometimes very, very difficult, and it is really, really difficult on this particular album because it is such a strong one. But if I'm completely honest, To the Floor is the only one that kind of comes to mind. I know we've got One and Only, So Lonely, Part 1 and Part 2. Maybe I could let one of those go, but I don't want to. I really love this Part 1 and Part 2. To the Floor, I think it's the percussion, it's Nelly, it's a little bit repetitive. It's still a good song. It's just, I'm always like, okay, yeah, cool. But I'm kind of waiting to move on from it. I don't know. If I had to pick something, it would be To the Floor. What about you guys? What would your repeat be and what would your skip be? And what are your memories surrounding this album when it came out? Let me know in the comments. For me, I've got such incredible personal memories. This was one of the album eras that I was in London, seeing Mariah and meeting her. I was lucky enough to get photos and autographs in the Glitter, Charm Bracelet and Emancipation eras. Emancipation was the best. I had a moment with Mariah backstage at Top of the Pops. The next day, I was at her anniversary party in London where I got my photo with her that I cherish. I've got a separate video about all of that and I'll link to that in the description. So this was such an incredible album and it was such an incredible moment in her career. So to be able to spend just little tiny snippets of time around her and with her when she was riding this high, the album had just come out. It was being so well received. The music was doing really well. And she was living that moment. She was just enjoying the success. She was so happy, and me and my friends and all the lambs just got to kind of share that with her. So it was so incredible to be around Mariah during this time. So yeah, this album will always be so special to me because of the strength of the album, how much I enjoy it, and all of those wonderful memories. As always, I will look forward to catching up with you guys in the comments. I'm having so much fun revisiting the albums in order and swapping favorites and memories and things like that. So I will see you in the comments. Make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss future content. I have got a lot more Emancipation era content coming your way very soon. So I will see you back here. Cheers, thanks a lot.